there, and too bad we couldn't end it in overtime or the shootout.
We'll go next to Mike McIntyre from the Winnipeg Free Press. Go ahead, Mike.
Thanks very much, Gregor. Mark, in the overtime session, you and Kyle played give and go there, and looked like he set you up pretty good. Was the puck rolling, or did it just go high over the net? How'd you see that?
Yeah, I made a bad shot. I probably had a little more time than I thought, and it was a great pass by KC, and I gotta capitalize on those. So that's on me, but wish I would end it there for sure.
We'll go next to Paul Friesen from the Winnipeg Sun. Go ahead, Paul.
Mark, how disappointing is it to kind of have the 2-zip lead and the way it turned from there?
That's hockey. The hardest lead to hold in hockey is 2. So, we got to be better. We got to stick to our game. We can't sit back. We got to keep on being aggressive, and we'll learn from tonight, and we'll get right back at it tomorrow.
We'll go next to Ken Weeb from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Weaver.
Mark, what did you see from the power play tonight?
We worked it well. You're in the right spots. We got our chances. It's still early. In this unit, we've only had 6 games on it, or 7 games on it now. So we still have lots of things to learn, a lot of things to get better at. But we worked it well tonight, and we got to carry that into tomorrow.
Sean Reynolds from Sportsnet. Go ahead.
Hey, Mark, I was wondering if you could give us an assessment of the line changes and how you felt they worked tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely an adjustment, playing with 2 different guys, but, I've played with them a lot. So, obviously I'd like to, get a little more offensive zone time than we did. But, obviously Calgary's a good team. There wasn't a whole lot of, flow, or it was a bit of a neutral zone battle for a lot of the game. So, a lot of things to work on for tomorrow. And, I think we got to get it in the O-zone a little more, get it behind their D, and get the cycle game going a little bit more.
And final question to Brian Munz from TSN 1290. Go ahead, Munzie.
Mark, a lot of curiosity coming into these 4 games about what the game would be like, physicality, extracurricular, that kind of thing. Can you take us onto the ice and just kind of how you felt the emotion of the game played out this evening?
Yeah, it's 2 good teams battling it out. We got big guys, we got skilled guys, on both sides. So it's a fun matchup. Obviously we wish that we would have came up on top tonight, but they're a good team. They play solid, and they're a fun team to play against. So that's the hockey we want to play, and we get to get back at it tomorrow.
Thanks very much, Mark.
Mark Scheifele says it's a fun team to play against. Well, we'll see a lot of them over the course of the next week. The Winnipeg Jets falling 4-3 in a shootout to the Calgary Flames. Let's get right to the highlights before another player pops up. Jets got the start they were looking for, that's for sure. It's an early power play after a Noah Hannafin tripping call, and Mark Scheifele, the guy you just heard from, goes cross-ice to Kyle Connor, and bing, back of the net. Just that trademark release that Kyle Connor has. Blake Wheeler gets the assist, the secondary assist on this one. Scheifele looking everybody off, finds that seam, and Kyle Connor, instead of going for the one-timer, takes just a split second with the puck there and then just goes up over the shoulder of Markstrom to give the Jets the 1-0 lead. And speaking of Kyle Connor, he's in the media room now.
Free press. Go ahead, Mike.
Thanks, Gregor. Kyle, I guess depending on your perspective, do you look at that as a point gained tonight by the late game rally to force it into extra time, or maybe a point lost by getting off to such a good start and then ultimately giving up the lead?
Point's a point. We came out good. We hopped out to a 2-0 lead, and we knew they were going to push back in the second period, and they did, and that was, we were on our heels a bit. Came out, I thought we pushed pretty strong in the start of third, and they kind of turned it up a notch. And like you said, it was kind of a roller coaster in that third. It was obviously great, tied up, and lots of chances both ways in overtime.
We'll go next to Paul Friesen from the Winnipeg Sun. Go ahead, Paul.
Kyle, it seemed the Flames got stronger as the game went on. Is that the way it felt too, or no?
I thought there was pushes by both teams throughout the game. They, obviously had their best push when took the lead 3-2, and we responded with a couple good shifts and tied it back up. So I think it was a pretty balanced game, and lots of good, lots of bad. We're going to take the video, and we see these guys 3 more times next 3 games. So we got to improve on things.
We'll go next to Ken Weeb from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Weaver.
Kyle, what have you seen in terms of growth from the power play, and what do you like most about being in that one-timer spot right now?
Sure. I think for us, we've had great zone time with that unit, right from the hop when we were put together. And it's just about doing the same things over and over again and, operating at a high rate and, just being a little more crisp on our passes. And I think that opens up the lane. And, for me, I think that's being in that shooter hole. That's kind of my job, get the puck off quick on my stick.
And we'll go next to Sean Reynolds from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Sean.
Kyle, you talked about that strong push that they made. Describe what you saw from Connor Hellebuck at about the 10-minute mark of the third and on. What did you see from him while they were making that push? Yeah,
he was great. They had countless of grade A chances there. I think for us, we got to tighten that up. I think, we're a little scrambly in our D zone. One guy gets beat, we don't have to panic, just kind of hold tight. I think we're kind of over pursuing, and that opens up a guy back door. And, luckily he was, he was there to bail us out countless times, but, they ended up getting one. So that's something we got to take a look at and just be a little sharper, definitely in our D zone.
Thanks very much, Kyle.
Thank you.
That's Kyle Connor. Just before he got to the podium, you saw his first of the game. Why not check out his second of the game? It looked quite similar. Jets back on the power play once again. This time it's Mark Giordano in the box. Mark Scheifele, they try to make a play into the slot to Stastny, but instead it just ends up back over to Kyle Connor, who blasts the one-timer. This one goes through the legs of Jacob Markstrom. It's Connor's first multi-goal game of the season. Gave him the team lead in goals as well with 6. His 53rd multi-point game of his career. And he gets absolutely all of this one through Markstrom. Now this is where the crazy stuff happens, and Connor Hellebuck is, we'll say his play throughout the rest of the game from this point on really, I would say, made up for this one. This is one of those ones, the puck goes down the ice and takes an absolutely ridiculous late bounce on him. There's not much as a goaltender you can really do about this one. You'll see it come down and then watch this hop, doink, goes up about 8 or 9, 10 inches or so and clears the pad of Connor Hellebuck, and then that's what started the comeback for the Calgary Flames. Adam Lowry now in the media room.
And we'll get going with Ken Weeb from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Weaver.
Evening, Adam. How did the game change stylistically in the second period? Like it got a little bit clogged up in the neutral zone for both teams.
Yeah, I think that's, kind of the way you're going to be successful against either team is limit their speed, limit their transition game. I think that's something we talk about. Don't let the Gaudreau line come through the neutral zone with speed. Don't let Lindholm come through the neutral zone with speed. I'm assuming they're going to be saying the same thing about a lot of our forwards. It seemed like the puck was a little bouncy tonight, so nothing was super clean, and I think that kind of affected it. There wasn't a lot of zone time or, sustained pressure kind of in that second period.
We'll go next to Paul Friesen from the Winnipeg Sun. Go ahead, Paul.
Thanks, Gregor. Adam, Kyle Connor was just with us saying that the Flames had countless grade A chances in the third period and that you guys were a bit scrambly in the D zone. How concerning was that?
I don't think it's too concerning. I think there's areas of your game that you can clean up, and they got a lot of highly skilled players. They're going to generate their chances. I think you come out of a PK and they seem to generate some momentum. They score a goal, and we kind of got caught watching a little bit, and sometimes the other team's going to buzz you around, and for us, Helly stood on his head and made some huge saves for us, and we're going to need that at certain times this year. And, I think, after that 5 or 7 minutes of, them getting a lot of chances, them taking the lead, we kind of got back to our game. We had some good zone pressure, some good shifts in, the offensive zone, and we were able to tie it up late. So, that's just as important. You stick with it. Sometimes you're not going to have your best effort defensively or, best couple of shifts strung together, and it's how you respond. I thought we responded pretty well.
We'll go back to Ken Weeb from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Weaver.
Speaking of responses, Adam, I mean, what did that Tanev shot look like from ice level, and what does it say about Connor and his ability to put that behind him?
Yeah, you know, those things happen. It kind of seemed like it skipped about 7 times, and every time it bounced, it seemed like it was picking up speed. So it's just one of those unfortunate plays. I think, you know, the puck does that 100 times. You know, he's stopping 99 of those, and you know, you're not getting those bounces every time. So just you know, unfortunate play. Sometimes the puck bounces that way, I guess.
Thanks very much, Adam.
It's Adam Lowry coming to the defense of his goaltender in that tough play that happened to open the second period. We saw that. That's what made it 2-1. Let's see if we can get through a few more highlights before Paul Maurice comes in. This is where Calgary would tie the game. Johnny Gaudreau on the back door takes the pass from Valimaki and makes no mistake from there. Not much you can do about that if you're Connor Hellebuck. No team, actually, has been able to keep Johnny Gaudreau off the score sheet so far this season. That extends his point streak to 8 games. And, I mean, just a perfect pass to a guy that's not going to miss from there. Calgary kept the pressure up throughout the third period, and Connor Hellebuck, like Adam Lowry mentioned, was absolutely stellar throughout. Logan Stanley takes a penalty on this play, but, I mean, it could have been 3-2 here. There's a number of plays that happened where Connor Hellebuck was the difference in this one not getting out of hand in the third period. Calgary would persist, though, and they would get rewarded for it, as this one comes out in front, and that's Andrew Mangiapane finding the rebound in front off the Noah Hannafin shot, just kind of sweeping it in. You see this puck comes out, Hannafin's there pressuring, Hellebuck can't corral that rebound from it in that tight, but the Jets didn't give up, and they're tied with Vegas for the most goals scored to tie a game this late. That's Mark Scheifele, who had a couple of great chances early in the third period. He's the one who cashes in to tie the game, and obviously a massive goal for the Winnipeg Jets, who had a real tough third period against the Calgary Flames. But it seemed after the Calgary made it 3-2, the Jets seemed to rally, and all of a sudden the shots on goal throughout that entire period were tied at 12. Now the high danger chances at 5-on-5 heavily in favor of the Calgary Flames, but all that matters is the one on the scoreboard, and it's 3-3. Late in the third, Nikolai Ehlers dumps it in, and Markstrom takes that one into the corner, and Jets run out of time, so we're going to overtime. And overtime solved nothing in this regard, but Paul Maurice is at the podium. Let's go there now.
And we'll get started with Jamie Thomas from Jet Radio. Go ahead, Jamie.
Hey, Paul, what did you see from your group after you guys gave up the lead for the first time in the third period?
Well, there was some solid pushback in that, and you know, it was clearly a big goal, 6-on-5, but the bench didn't get quiet. You know, they were still pulling for each other. We suffered, you know, a 10 minutes in there that were tough. They were on us real good. We have a difficult time moving the puck and sorting some of the D zone out, but settled after that.
Go next to Ken Weeb from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Weaver.
Paul, what did you see from the line changes you made in the top 6?
I liked them for a while. I don't think we had all of the 6 going at their best, so we'll chalk that up to a couple of guys had tough nights, and then we'll take a look at it again tomorrow.
We'll go next to Mike McIntyre from the Winnipeg Free Press. Go ahead, Mike.
Thanks, Gregor. Paul, you guys play a solid first period. You have the 2-goal lead, and then they get that one just 7 seconds in on an absolute, fluke goal that you almost never see. Did you feel that that maybe that zapped some momentum that you guys had built?
I didn't. I don't think so. I mean, I don't think they were going to be bragging about their first period. So you knew they're going to get a bit of a pushback there. It certainly didn't affect Connor. I mean, he was just outstanding after that, and so I don't think it did. I mean, not with that much time on the clock, right? We're responsible for our play, so that was an absolute fluke. It's not a bad goal and a bad break. It's a fluke, It's one of those ones you just rarely see, except every goalie's got one of those.
We'll go next to Scott Billick from the Winnipeg Sun. Go ahead, Scott.
Hi, Paul. Is there, and you've talked about a little bit before, like, a lot of teams just can't put together that 60-minute game at this point. But are you concerned about perhaps, the way that, that second period went tonight, the way that the second period went in the other game 2 nights ago? Like, are you concerned about how low the lows do get at times?
Well, we've had a couple of tough periods second in Toronto the other night, and certainly I thought our last two the other night, and I think our third more than our second in here tonight, and we end up coming out even on that. But I mean, I'm seeing that all over the place in all the games that I'm watching. You're not seeing a lot of domination start to finish. You're seeing big swings and leads. One happened tonight, Washington, Boston. So the I think what you've got is pushback from the other team. You saw it from us getting down in games in the first 6 or 7 games, and nobody's quitting on a night, right? These are all so important. So you get a 2-0 lead in the first, the other team's pushing, and they'll open their game up to hunt back into it. So I got lots of concerns. You always have them, and you're constantly looking for that 60-minute game.
We'll go next to Ken Weeb from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Weaver.
Paul, is the first power play unit starting to resemble what you envisioned when you wrote this?
Yeah, you know what? It always, when you get something new, it takes some time, right? And then we scored 2, hit a bar, a couple other good chances. So it looks like it's finding its own rhythm beyond structure, right? You got your ideas of where you're trying to put the puck, but the players get used to each other moving 5 or 6 inches into different holes to open up lanes. So they're starting to look like it, yeah.
And final question to Mike McIntyre from the Free Press. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Paul, I just wanted to ask you about the shootout order that you used there. I mean, was there thought to having Nikolai? I think he's 0 for 4 in his career on shootouts, but where would he have been maybe if it had kept going?
We didn't have anybody left on our bench that scored a National Hockey League goal in a shootout. So he would have been one of them.
Thanks very much, Paul.
That's head coach Paul Maurice breaking down tonight's 4-3 shootout loss to the Calgary Flames. Jets salvage a point. They're 5-3-1 and take on this exact same Calgary Flames team tomorrow here at Bell MTS Place. Thanks for tuning in to the Jets TV Live postgame show presented by Budweiser. We will see you tomorrow.